Namaste. My name is Mika. Thank you for joining me for live yoga. We're doing a Hatha yoga session this evening. And you might notice that I have some funky socks. These are indeed avocados. A little bit of an obsession here in Australia, or really anywhere in the world. It's just such a superfood. So you won't miss my feet, but we are going to be using socks either on tiles or wooden flooring. Or if you're on carpet, plastic bags, you can either just put them down and stand on them and it makes your surface slippery. So we are using sliders or homemade sliders, and this gives our body instant, contraction of muscles. And when your muscles contract, that's when they start to build strength. So even if you're holding your arm, join me here by holding your arm and then flex the bicep so you feel that muscle contract. While you're doing that, even though there's no weight, is the muscle building strength. Every time a muscle contracts, it's building strength. And of course, if you add load or resistance and the muscle works harder, you can then build strength faster or more strength. So that's just a little bit of how your muscles work. And when I heard that and learned that even just a simple contraction, it gave me a lot more feeling that I could access strength and mobility in my body. So I want to offer that for our practice tonight with my funky socks, and I'll be giving modifications as we step up how we slide and slip so that you feel safe and secure and that you're not going to hurt yourself. So when you're ready, let's start in a comfy seated position. We'll start with our pranayama just to center ourselves and bring us into this space. If it feels nice to you to switch a light lower and just bring yourself into a more comfortable place of your practice, you can. And just sit a little taller in your posture, lengthening through the crown of your head, rolling the shoulders a few times, maybe even gently rolling your neck to one direction and then the other. And while you're here taking this gentle time, maybe consider what your intention is for this practice. And it can simply be just to feel good, to feel nourishment and safety within yourself with this breathing and with this body connection. Gently rest your hands open on your knees or your thighs, creating space. Feel soft in the elbows as you sit tall, imagining that your heart is lifting to the sky as you close your eyes for our pranayama, our breath control. Gently sigh your next exhale out through the mouth. Hold your breath at the bottom, and through the nose, inhale deeply. Exhale through the nose, maybe engaging with that ujjayi breath, that hot yogic breath. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling slowly and smoothly through the nose. Feeling your body relax, relaxing your knees and your thighs. And just quietening yourself here in your seat, in your asana. And we're gently going to take a deeper inhale for a count of 6. So on your next exhale, hold your breath at the bottom. Inhale with me for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Exhale 6, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause. Take your own inhale to 6, pausing at the top, meditating on the count, repeating that like a mantra to bring your brain and your body into a focused place. Exhaling slowly on the exhale to 6, pausing at the bottom. We'll just take a few more cycles here. The bottom of your next exhale, take your time, there's no rush. Just let go of the count at the bottom, let go of the pause and return back to natural breathing. Keeping your eyes closed in this space, this beautiful, safe space of you. Just feel what you feel. Checking in with your body and with your mind. What do you notice about this place right now and this space that you've created for yourself? Breathe into it. Feel taller in your posture. Maybe gently smiling to yourself as we foster this positivity, this goodness of who you are and how you are. If that feels good, and you feel okay, gently open your eyes, soften your gaze. I'm going to create some movement, maybe move your fingers a little bit, rotate your wrists around. And then on your inhale, just reach up to the sky, blossoming open like a flower, looking up, maybe swaying from one side to the other gently, lengthening through the sides of the body. Maybe even feeling like you're coming out of a sleep. Stretching long, taking one hand to the ground and stretch and lengthen that arm over your head, pushing against your hand that's on the ground so you feel a bit more of a crunch on the spine. We want to open the chest and lengthen. Inhale, come back up. Exhale to the other side. You want to keep those sit bones on the floor as you push back with the grip of the mat. Lengthen the hand. Open the chest and maybe take your gaze to the sky. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, keep the glutes on the ground, float forward, taking your hands to the floor and leaning over, keeping those glutes there. Aim is not to touch the floor with your face if you can't, rather get the weight of the torso over. And feel what that does in your hips. With your exhale, relaxing the torso heavier and sinking into the hip stretch more. Hips, groin, lower back. On your next exhale, move your body over the right thigh towards the right knee. A gentle twist in the posture. And just folding towards the right knee. When you inhale, imagine that your ribs are expanding and it's stretching through the side of your body. Inhale, come back to center, forward fold. Exhale to the other side. Using that inhale to expand through the back. And that exhale to fold a little more. Feeling that folded twist and that stretch through the lower back. Inhale, come back to center position. Lift up through the hands and bring yourself up. Let's take the legs out wide. My legs are going to look extra long if I bring them out to the side here with my wide lens. Now, depending on your flexibility, this is where the socks are kind of fun, or the plastic bags are kind of fun, because they'll let you kind of spread safely, but spread to where you like. So you can keep the knees bent, especially if your upper hamstrings are tight. The aim is to bring them down. You can bring your legs in a little bit more, rather than as wide as you can. So just adjust for where you are. This is a deep stretch, so gentle as you fold. First off, put your fingers behind you. I like to kind of pull my chest forward. Sometimes this can kind of help to open through the groin, lengthen the spine. Let's create a bit of a back bend as you flatten your hands behind you, pull the chest up, push up through your hands, look up to the ceiling. Breathe in deeply, feel that nice stretch through the shoulders. And then exhale, bring your hands out in front of you and forward fold to where feels comfortable. You don't need to overstretch and get a really tight pull because we're just warming up. And I always find the next day I have hamstring pain if I'm overstretching. So curl your toes towards your face. The aim of this is to switch on the quads, to flex them so you can't go as far as you can when everything's turned off and overstretch. So contract the muscles by pushing your thighs into the mat, drawing the toes towards you. Remember, pull that heart forward, and this is as far as I go. I already feel everything stretching for me now as I warm up. Maybe even a little shake as your hips are working hard to hold you there. Just breathe into it. It's all unlocking those hips and those legs. And then release the pulled chest, the straight back, and gently fold, rounding the back. Just feel a difference or a change. Try not to release the feet. Keep those feet dorsiflexed or pulled towards you. And breathe here. Using that ujjayi breath, that hot massaging breath at the back of the nose and the throat, like you're fogging a mirror, like that, but with the mouth closed. Inhale, lift the torso tall. Now, while in this position, we're going to slide our right hand down underneath our calf muscle. We want to open the chest, so it's a gentle twist, which is really safe. And I like to try and bring actually the palm of my hand under the leg. I can kind of hold onto it here. You can see my knee is lifting to do that. So bring the knee up a little bit, and I've had to roll my palm flat and then grab onto my thigh. Hopefully you can get that on Zoom. Now this means that I can push my right arm into the thigh. It allows me to push against it, open the chest gently. Yes, use that as leverage. Lift the left arm up, parallel to your hand, and just fold down into that thigh gently. Really nice stretch, really safe stretch. Option then is to take the hand in the sky over your ear. Feel a little bit more stretch through the side. And then if this feels good, slide your heel out and away from you, straightening that leg. Deeper stretch in the hamstring, deeper stretch in the lower back. And as you exhale, sink a little deeper if that feels good, keeping the chest open. On your inhale, just slide the body up, take your time. Ooh. Put your hands behind you and just lift that chest again, stretch through the shoulders. Breathe here. Give your little feet a wave. Wave to me here. I can't get over these socks, they're brilliant. I should wear them every week. And then exhale, bring yourself back up, bending the left leg this time and taking your palm down, flipping the palm, holding onto your calf or your ankle, wherever that feels good. Pushing the arm against the inner thigh and the thigh pushing into the arm to rotate that chest open. Raise the right hand up, breathe here, and then slide the heel out if that feels okay, and bring the arm over your ear. What do you notice about this side compared to the other side? Tune into your body and its movements and how things translate there. Slowly raise the right arm back up and follow the torso with the hand, lifting the body tall. Take the hands behind you and inhale, straighten through the shoulders and the spine. Feels good. Great, you can shake out the legs again. This time bringing them out in front of us. I'm going to move back a little bit. Great. Okay, so our feet are on something slippery, yes? You can put your plastic bags under your feet or your socks because you'll be able to slide. What we're going to do is put our hands, I'll do it this way so you see my hands. Essentially, good. We're going to pull that chest forward, rotate the shoulders down, fingertips are pointing towards your feet. We're coming into bridge pose. Squeezing our glutes here, lifting tall. Sorry, I don't know if my microphone's cutting out, just tell me if you can't hear me. You're looking up towards the sky, so using your neck muscles here to support yourself. And if that feels like it's too much, I don't know if you're pregnant, if it feels too much, you can just lower your pelvis a little bit here. You don't have to strain and squeeze. You do want to have your thighs pulling towards each other. So your groins are working here. And then what we're going to do is just slide the right leg out. Lifting tall, that's your first option. You don't have to do it. And then slide it back in. Nice. Slide the left leg out. Ooh, slide it back in. Now, you can stay here. Option is to kind of lower the hips a little bit, but slide both feet out and then lift the hips. Slide both feet back in and feel the pull of the hamstrings to get there. If you want, slide one leg, then the other leg, slide one leg, and then the other leg. One more time, the heat is building. So slide both legs out, lift the hips, and then slide both feet in. And then exhale, come back to a seated position. Bring your feet in towards each other into Baddha Konasana and just butterfly the thighs. Whew, releasing those shoulders. Already so much heat in the body. Nice. And if that feels fine, just fold gently forward. Have a little pause. So working on slides. And if you found it hard to slide both feet out at the same time, so did I. So it's okay. These are all like really different engagements of your muscles, but they're the key little connected muscles in the joints that you want to start activating because they support you for life. So that's the intuitive movement that we're working on. And it's hard. It's so focused on those little groups. So they work very hard and yeah, your brain goes, what's happening? All right, gently release. This time we're going to come into a plank pose. I'm going to give you options just so that you feel comfortable. Okay, so find that there's some room behind your mat where you can slide your feet a little bit. Okay? First place is to have your feet sliding behind you into table pose. So wrists are under shoulders, index fingers pointing towards the short edge of your mat or top of your mat. Externally rotate your arms. That means opening your hands like this, but they're stuck on the mat. By doing that, your shoulders rotate outwards and down away from the ears. Yeah. First option is to slide that left foot back and slide all the way back with it. Oh, I need some more room. There's a table there. Slide all the way back and just sit in this stretch. It should feel really nice. And then slide back up. And slide the other leg. Push all the way back. Give yourself a little bit of space there to stretch through the glutes. Slide back up using the strength of your leg. Take it again to the other side, slide back, pushing back through the hands. It's a little bit like a one-sided child's pose. Slide it back up, inhaling. Exhale, slide the other leg back. Nice. Inhale, slide it back up. Exhale, round the shoulders, push up through the hands for a cat stretch, rounding the back. Tucking the chin. Inhale for cow stretch. Dropping the belly, arching the spine, look up. Exhale for cat. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Inhale for cow. And then come back to neutral spine as you inhale and take your elbows to the mat. Elbows come under shoulders. If you want to measure the distance, you can bring your hands to touch your elbows, and that's a good mark of the distance between your elbows, like this. We're going to bring our hands together as well. A little bit of this push into your hands will engage your lats and you'll feel a little more secure when we do these movements. So bringing your hands together here. Okay, the first option is to stay on your knees. And the first option is to take your right foot back first and then your left foot back. Just to feel what that's like with the slipperiness there, you have to really grip with your elbows to hold and support yourself. And then you just bring one knee in and the other knee back. Okay, so first step. We're going to do that again, and I'm going to take step 2. So bring your feet back. First step is to slide your left leg out to the side, however far, doesn't have to be as far as me, and slide it back. Then do it with the right side. Have a chair in the way. And slide it back. Trying to keep your spine level, not lifting the bum. And then bring both knees back down and hold it here. Move my chair. Don't want things in the way of our slides. Okay, so we'll try that one more time. And if you can, curl your toes under, push up through the elbows, and slide yourself out into your plank on your plastic. Before we continue, see if you can lift the hips and slide your knees back in. That engagement is all contraction of the core. Squeeze with your pelvic floor, or even bring one leg in and then the other leg in. Cool, take a pause here. Again, you can always step out a squiggly, slippery step and just breathe here. When you're ready, curl your back toes under. We're going to slide into our forearm plank. On your exhale, push out through the toes, through the feet, holding your plank here. Second step, take the left leg out to the side. Then bring it back in. Good. Inhale, slide it over to the right. Exhale, bring it back in. Then slide your knees back in, lifting the hips up in order to place them back on your mat. And then lift up onto your knees, releasing the hands, breathe in, lifting tall to the ceiling. And exhale, come back to table pose, hands coming down. Cool. Okay, I'm not sure which step you're up to, but we'll just keep adding steps. And even if you just find yourself here and then bringing your knees back in, that's great. So you adjust for you. Coming onto our elbows again, ladies. Push your shoulders away from your ears, curl the toes under, and then this time push back into your forearm plank. Good. On your inhale, take the left leg out to the side. Exhale, bring it back to center. Right leg out to the side. Bring it back to center. This is where it gets tricky now. Step 3. Taking that left leg, we're going to slide it underneath us to the right. It's like a crossover. And then we slide it back to the center. We slide the right leg out to the left, squeezing under, and we cross it back to center. We're gonna do it one more time. Exhale, cross it over, left leg over to the right. Bring it back to center, push up through the elbows. Bring it out to the left, that's your right leg. Crossing it under you. Bring it back to center. And then draw those feet back in, kneeling on your mat. Oh, inhale, release the body and lift it up to the sky. Breathe in here. Oh, lean back if that feels good. And take your hands down by your sides and shake out the arms. Oh, heat, hot energy. So much core engagement without really having to think about it. There's so much that goes on. And your shoulders, right? Who's like feeling that shoulder strength? So it's really cool. Yeah, like roll it out. Exactly. Okay, let's come into downward facing dog. This time, remove the bags and we're gonna take our socks to the mat because it'll still grip enough. When you're ready, join me in Adho Mukha Svanasana or downward facing dog. Thinking about your position here. Wide fingers gripping the mat. Remember that external rotation by opening jars with our hands in order to get the inner arms in and up to the ceiling. Lifting that tailbone high, nice and long in your spine. And on your exhale, push back through the hands to get that tailbone nice and long and tall. Feet are hip width apart. And then gently, your knees can be slightly bent to accommodate you relaxing your heels down towards the mat. Exhaling smoothly as you push back actively through your hands. Nice, deep, present breaths. Relaxing your neck. Should be in line with your spine, nice and neutral. This downward dog should feel more stable. But we're going to change the game. We're going to add a little bit of slipperiness to our downward dog. And I think this usually parallels life a little bit, right? We find those moments where we feel strong and stable, and moments when we feel like what we're standing on is sliding or slipping. So this moment or this practice offers us a chance to work on our resilience, work on our strength, and consider the way we deal with slippery moments, and then fostering our equanimity. So bend your knees, and with me, just gently walk your hands back towards your feet, taking your time to get there, and then roll your spine. Inhale, reach up to the ceiling, lifting the hands tall, and taking them by your side to our strong mountain pose, Tadasana. Shaking out the hands, bring your hands together and roll through the wrists. Nice. Maybe take one hand out in front of you and gently pull the fingers back towards you. Pointing the fingers down and stretching across the top of the wrist. Swapping hands. Pointing those fingers down. And roll them out. Roll the shoulders back. And let's begin the practice of equanimity, exploring how we find control and peace and stabilization in slippery moments. So, step off your mat, find your slippery floor, whether that's on your plastic, on your sliders, or with your socks, and bend your knees and walk your hands into downward facing dog. So to do that, I like to come into a full plank, getting my hands under my shoulders and then lifting the hips, pushing back. But you can only push so far because the feet don't feel as stable, right? You have to grip the floor with your toes. You're gripping the mat more with your fingers and your shoulders are working harder. Breathe here. And what this is offering is a lot of other smaller stabilizing muscles to support you. The little joints, the little muscles that you don't ever really notice. And I think this is the same with equanimity. Under stress, you grab the little tools that you have without even realizing it. So this practice offers a greater work in how you can foster those little moments, those little thoughts, that breath work, that strength, that inner strength, help you hold, support yourself. You'll notice, I already noticed, my shoulders are burning. Ooh, my mat slides away from me. My legs start to shake. So I invite you now to bend your knees and walk back onto your mat, back onto our solid foundation, and walk your feet towards your hands in a gentle forward fold, releasing your hands and becoming a raggy doll. And after those high anxiety or stressful moments, I definitely become a raggy doll. And the beautiful thing is, it's so good and so okay to wind up as a raggy doll. The delight in this process, the release and the need to arrive in this kind of position. Maybe swinging your arms around your legs helps you not feel like a raggy doll anymore, but a little bit more awakened. Maybe taking your hands down to the floor, bending your knees and coming into a squat. Maybe your heels are lifted. Helps you feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more firm. And maybe for some of you, this pose hasn't been as easy to access and you're doing it. You're here in a squat supporting yourself. And that's awesome. So gently, in our little frog squats, I'm gonna offer you a little bit of strength work here. We're gonna lift our body tall, hold onto our knees. Your muscles have to support yourself in this pose. They tire quickly. See if you can balance here. Lifting the body tall. If you're still very much like stuck here, that's fine. Maybe come onto your fingertips like you're about to jump forward. Support yourself here. Otherwise, see if you can balance by taking your hands to your knees or bringing your hands to your heart center as you balance here on your toes. Awesome. Breathe here. Take the right hand down inside your leg Your right arm's inside your leg and open the left arm. Gentle twist. Breathe in, enjoy the space. If you're getting really tired here on your feet, the option is just to bring yourself into a seated position. Okay, so always options depending on where your hips are at. Great. Breathe, maybe look up to that left hand. Smiling to yourself. And then take the left hand down to the ground. Inhale first, lengthen the spine, roll the shoulders back and down. Exhale, reach up with the right hand, opening to your right, looking up to the sky. Gently take your hands down. Okay, from here we're going to come onto our bottoms. Ooh, yeah, ooh, yeah. I'm going to bring myself back a little closer. There we go. Nice. And if it feels good, we can remove the socks because you might be somewhere hot and you just don't need them. You can move your plastic away as well. Nice. Great. We're coming into cow face. Tricky pose. If you have a block, grab yourself a block because what I'm inviting you to do is coming and sitting up on your block. So sitting, this level, your medium level of your block, sitting on that with your bottom, it'll help you lift your hips higher and will help you maybe find this pose a little easier. So in cow face, bring both legs out in front of you. We're going to take the left leg and bring it underneath us, threading it under the right leg so that it's beside your block or your hip if you're on the floor, like this. And you want to take this right foot over the knee. This is stage 1. Okay, this might feel strong already. And as we fold here, you might feel that tightness in your right hip, okay? Otherwise, we're taking that right foot and bringing it to the outer edge of the left hip, getting our knees to stack, and it helps if you pull forward with the body, your legs kind of with the weight cross a little deeper. So it's up to you where you're at, bringing those feet in. This is the cow face, little ears, little face here, moo cow. Sitting tall in your posture. Inhale, reach up to the ceiling, breathe in, lengthen the spine. And exhale, take your hands either to your thighs, holding here, or otherwise to the ground. Lifting tall, lift the heart to the sky, and then fold forward, keeping your glutes on your block or the floor into your cow face pose. Allowing the weight of the body to kind of lean against your thighs to give a little bit more stretch through the right hip flexor. On your next inhale, lift the torso. We're going to stretch through the shoulders here. So this is our right leg on top. So bring your right leg in front, right leg, that's your arm. Bring your right arm in front. And then we're going to take the left arm over the top of the right arm. This is going to catch. And thread yourself into Garuda hands. So if that was a bit of a pretzel for you, the left arm comes on top, cross it over, and then curl it around. If you can't bring your hands together like this, you can hold onto your thumb or onto your wrist or anywhere. That's fine. Roll the shoulders back and down and lift the elbows up to the chin. Sitting nice and tall in your posture. This is a strong shoulder stretch. They call this Garuda arms or eagle arms. We're going to fold one more time, folding down towards our knees or the ground, and just breathe here. Yeah. Try not to reach with your neck. Just allow the body to lean into the thighs. Gently inhale, lift the body. Undo the arms and just bring your hands to your shoulders and rotate through the elbows. Ah, nice. Okay, other side. This is the fun part. We're gonna do a little bit of a pivot. Your feet will remain on the mat. You might just want to watch this one. We're going to turn anti-clockwise. This should get you in the same position, but your legs will swap over. So keeping your feet there, you just walk your hands around anti-clockwise, walking around, yes, my butt's in your face, walking around all the way around, back to the front, and your legs have crisscrossed again. Ta-da! I feel like I should have like a little applause every time. It's really fun. So have a little go, see if you get there, and if you get lost, then just sit down and cross swap your legs over. No one will know. And I like to kind of wiggle, roll forward and kind of wiggle and get that deep across. Find your block. It's there if you want it. Coming into cow face. Sitting nice and tall, you should feel the weight of both hips. You're nearly there, that's great. Awesome. Sit nice and tall in your posture. Taking our time, kind of allowing the legs to rest in that position. Again, if your legs can't get all the way there, you can just come over the knee like this, that's fine. Great. And on your inhale, lift the hands up to the ceiling to lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold, keeping the glutes on the floor of the block, allowing the weight of the torso to sink onto those legs. I like to push back with my hands to really get my glutes pushing into the block and to stretch through the hips. A few breaths here. Ujjayi breathing, connecting that breath with the stretch. Your next inhale, lift up, coming into Garuda arms. So the left arm comes out in front, the right arm feeds over the top and crosses around, double cross. Lift the elbows, roll the shoulders back and down, Garuda hands. And then slowly forward fold, taking the elbows towards the thighs, the knees, or even the ground. A few breaths in this position. Gently lift the body up, bringing your torso up first. Release the arms, bring your hands to your shoulders and rotate the elbows backwards. Nice. Lovely, great. If you're on a block, release the block, untwist your legs. Just gonna check the time. Oh, great, we're doing really good. And then, when you're ready, come back into table pose. We'll slowly get up there. I've got all this sock fluff all over my mat. Haven't had that before, there's more. All right, coming to table pose. We're gonna bring our right foot in between our hands into a low lunge. Nice. Let's support ourselves slowly by getting there. Spread out your lunge. If it feels good to take your knee back a little further, just to create more of a split. You shouldn't have pain, but you want to stretch through the right groin and stretch through the left hip. Allowing you to kind of rock in this position, coming forward, stretching into the lunge, and rocking back, stretching a little into the front leg. So just take your movement here in this position, massaging through the hips. Opening those hips, awakening that area of the body, but finding it much more supported. Nice. This time, bring both hands to your right knee. Your knee is above your ankle. So a nice 90-degree angle there. Lifting the torso up. Beautiful. And then when that feels good, take both hands to the sky. Lifting tall, leaning back if you want to. You don't have to. Maybe even bringing your hands in a pistol grip, so crossing the fingers over. What this does is it allows you to stretch your shoulders back a little further. And just breathe here. Exhale, take the hands to the inside of the leg, both hands coming inside the right foot. Lizard lunge. So from this position, you can keep your knee on the ground. You might already feel a deep groin stretch. Option to go further is to curl the back toe under and lift the back knee. A little bit more strength and straightness in that back leg. Now from here, I'm going to invite you to create that rocking motion again, lifting the hips, pushing back through the hands and coming forward into the lunge and sinking the pelvis down. So you can kind of play here in this lizard lunge. And then option is to take your elbows down to the ground, down to the mat. This is a much deeper stretch through the hip. You don't have to, you can drop the back knee if that feels good, and just explore the stretch here. Lizard lunge. If you're on your elbows, come back to your hands. Take the right hand to the outside of the right foot, back to our lunge. Drop the back knee and come back into table pose. Oh, nice. We're gonna kind of create a bit of a washing machine here in the body. So we're gonna drop the belly for a cow stretch. We're gonna lift, kind of rotate our torso to the left, leaning your hip to the left. Then arching the spine to the left, rotate it up into your cat stretch, lean your torso to the right as you come back into the cow stretch. This is our washing machine. It's all about mobility in your back and your hips as you gently and slowly rotate this around. Washing machine of the belly. Great. Come back to neutral spine. And when you're ready, take the left foot forward into our low lunge. And in this position, I invite you to explore your range of motion just by rocking forward and backwards in your low lunge. Anjaneyasana. And then find yourself back into low lunge. Knee is over ankle. Grip the mat with your toes and bring both hands to the knee. Sinking nice and tall, roll the shoulders back and down, and when you're ready, inhale, lift the hands. Clasping them together, leaning back. A few breaths here. Slowly bring both hands down inside the left foot into our lizard lunge. And I invite you again to create some movement in our lizard lunge. Leaning into it, dropping the pelvis, pushing back through the hands, stretching through that hip joint. And then find stillness in your lizard lunge. Maybe if you can't take your elbows there, you can always take the back knee back a little further, or come into a full lizard lunge by lifting the back knee and strengthening and straightening the back right leg. If you can, take your elbows down to the mat into lizard lunge. Breathe, a deep stretch, and you just take it to where you have access, where you're capable, and that's great. Dropping the back knee if it was lifted, come back to your hands. Take the left hand outside the left foot, back into your lunge, and take that left foot back into table pose. Now before we kind of washing machine to the left, this time washing machine the torso to the right, rounding around, dropping the belly into your cow, rounding as you come into a cat stretch. And take a few little cycles of your washing machine here. Inhaling for cow, exhaling as you round into your cat. Good. Come back to neutral spine. Sit back on your heels if that feels okay. And just release the shoulders. Nice. Final pose, final stabilizing pose. It's actually really nice. Jerry, who's here with us, and myself, we explored the Kosciuszko mountain range nearly 2 weeks ago, which is Australia's tallest peaks. We were there hiking together in the wildflowers. She was my yoga photographer, thanks Jer. And we saw the most amazing snowy gum trees. And so we're going to finish our practice standing in tree pose, creating length as we breathe and as we balance, and just kind of imagining for ourselves that that stability and that foundation kind of carries off this practice and into our lives. It's a beautiful, strong thing to support yourself and to know it. So if you've got a chair, you might want a chair close by, just as we're balancing if you feel a little off balance. So have that close by. Great. And come back up to a standing pose. Just taking a big sigh out, finding space as we stand. Haven't really stood today. Finding that your chair is there if you need it. Okay. And bringing your feet together. Maybe toes touching. Putting a little bit of weight into that left leg and allowing the right leg to come out to the side. Now, as we do this, people tend to collapse into the left hip, but you want to lengthen that and imagine that your pelvis is like a bowl. So that if you had your hands out in front of you, that bowl is not tilting and spilling the water in the bowl. So keep that pelvis neutral and then lift the right leg up. It's out to the side, balance, of course. Use this if you need. Just going to turn the music down a little bit. Okay. You're balancing, sorry. Find your gaze point, bring your hands to your hips. And if you're ready, bring your foot in front of you and push it out away from you. Strength of the hip flexors. Turn your quad on by drawing your toes towards your face. Awesome. Exhale, lift the knee up. We're going to take 3 of these. And then on your exhale, push the foot out. Good. Inhale, draw the knee up. Exhale, push it out. Inhale, lift the knee. With your right hand, catch the ankle and draw it into your upper inner thigh or above your knee or below your knee. It's up to you, just not on the knee. Don't push against the knee. Balance here in Vrikshasana. Strong like those snowy gums in Australia, or maybe those palm trees in Malaysia. Or maybe pine trees in Switzerland, who knows? Find your tree and bring your hands to your heart center. As you balance, lifting tall, remember your pelvis is a bowl. We don't want it tipping. Find that neutral alignment there. Option, lift your branches tall, spreading them up to the sky, reaching for the sun. And I love how this pose brings you so present into this moment as you balance. There's nothing you can do but feel all of this happening. the burn, the fatigue, the beauty, success, all of those things. Bring your hands to your hips here, exhale. And then with your two fingers, like a peace sign, your right hand, grasp onto your right big toe. Hook it with your finger. Again, you can always balance if that feels good. But we're gonna lift that foot out to the side. So your arm is on the inside of your thigh. Lift up through the leg. Breathe here. This may be where you are, because you might be crunching like this. Try and hold on to something and lift the spine tall. Pull against that foot. Try and lifting tall. Option now is to push that foot away from you, even partially push it out. Keeping that hip lifted, keeping your balance in your leg. This is the final challenge for the practice. Breathe. And then bring the foot out in front of you. See if you can hold your leg there and gently release your hand back to your hip. Woo! You've got it. And gently release the foot back to the floor and shake out the left leg. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, shake it out. I'm going to turn my chair over to the other side. Okay, if you need it. Find tallness in your posture, bring your feet together. Relax your shoulders, and maybe this side will feel better, maybe. This time, weight going into the right leg, lift through the pelvis, nice and neutral, pull up through the spine, bring your hands to your hips. As you lift that leg out to the side, hold it here. Strengthening through all areas of that hip joint. Breathe. This is a great time to start to find your focus point on the ground. Keep lifting through that right leg and bring the left knee out in front of you. Nice. Roll the shoulders back and down, release the tension there. And on your exhale, we'll do 3 of these. Kick that left leg out. Good. Inhale, bring the knee in. Exhale, kick it out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, push it out. Inhale, lift. Take the ankle with the left hand and bring the foot into Vrikshasana, into your snowy gum or your palm tree or your pine tree. And when you're ready, find Vrikshasana, bringing your hands to your heart. Lengthening through the body, trying not to sag into the hip, but keep that spine long and tall. And just breathe. And if you wish, stretch your branches to the sky, relaxing the shoulders. You've got this. Final strong poses. Bring your right hand to the chair or to your hip if you're balancing. Left 2 fingers, index and middle finger, hooking onto the left big toe. Great, holding that out to the side. Keep lengthening through that right leg. If it's shaking, that's fine. Hold your chair, get a good grip. Push into the hand, lengthen the spine. Good. And then from here, stretch it out a little more. Keeping that knee bent is great. You want your spine lifted, shoulders rolling back and down. Balance and breathe. I love it. If you're fatiguing and you're falling over, just come back in your own time. All those muscles contracting are working and strengthening. So that's the goal. Bring that leg out in front of you. final little test of those hips. As you keep that foot where it is, if you can, release the hand back to your hip. Push that leg out in front of you. Inhale, lift it a little higher. And then slowly release it down to the ground and shake it out. How are you going? You good? I just see a lot of like this going on. Nice. Move the chair out the way and gently take yourselves onto your mat. I'm going to turn my lights low. Create a little bit of darkness in my space. I invite you to do the same if that feels good. Just to come into shavasana, we're a little bit over time. We're pretty much right on time, but slowly coming into a bit of a gentle space for ourselves. And just slowly taking yourself down into happy baby. If you are pregnant and it feels too heavy on your spine and you can't do happy baby, then I just invite you to roll to one side and stretch your legs. See if I can stretch your legs out away from you. That creates a nice stretch through the outer hip. So it's up to you. Otherwise, happy baby it is. Hands reaching up and grabbing the outer edges of your feet. And like a baby, maybe rolling gently from one side to the other. You did it, guys. We slid around. We found our groundings. And we reached for the sky. What more is there to life than finding our feet and reaching for the sky? And gently hold onto your knees. And like a frog, we're just going to rotate the knees around in the joint, kind of circling them in one direction. Taking gentle, smooth breaths, slowing the breath down, and then change direction, rotating them the other way. And gently take your feet down to the mat. I invite you to do a final twist. Maybe if you're pregnant, don't do this. Again, like I suggested, your twist could be to rotate onto one side and just stretch the legs out, and that will twist through the lower back without twisting from the abdomen. Okay, and you can do that as we swap sides. Otherwise, what we're going to do is take the left leg up and cross it over your right thigh. Unclip this. Okay, then what we're going to do is cactus the arms, palms face down, and with those shoulders feeling pressed into the mat, drop your knees over to the right as you look to the left. Twisting through the torso. Just take a few breaths here. Swapping sides, inhale, bring the legs up. Unhooking the legs, crossing them over the other way. Dropping your crossed legs over to the right as you look to the left. And on your exhale, feeling that twist sink a little further. On your inhale, bring the legs up. And then stretch the legs away from you, raising your hands above your head. Come into a deep stretch, lengthening your body long. And on your exhale, find shavasana, a final pose of rest, taking your heels a little wider than your hips, allowing your legs to go floppy, palms face up to the ceiling.
out away by your sides, closing your eyes here as you breathe. And allow your nervous system to unravel and to find peace. Breathing deeply, feeling your body rise and inflate with the breath. Sighing it out through your mouth as you exhale and feeling your body melting into the mat. Allowing yourself to disappear. I invite you to stay here a little longer if you need. You can either mute your audio or pause a video or whatever feels good. Or I'm going to bring you out of shavasana. Taking a more conscious inhale and a more conscious exhale in the body. Maybe turning your palms face down on the carpet or the floor. Moving your toes, rotating your ankles. And as you inhale, slide your arms above your head. Gently opening your eyes to the sky. Letting in the light. Maybe even like a goofball smiling here. At just how lovely it is to lie down. And breathe and be. And if you're not already, roll onto one side of the body, just changing your weight over. And gently support yourself as you come back to a seated position. And if you sit cross-legged one way, like we did in the beginning, maybe swap the legs over. Feel the change in the body. And gently roll your shoulders here a few times. This time drop the chin, stretching through the back of the neck. We're going to take the left arm behind you, just like this, just behind you, stretching through the shoulders here. We're going to drop our head over to the right and allow that nice stretch all the way through the neck and the shoulders. You can gently pull with your right hand on the neck, or even just hold it there and feel that stretch. Inhale, gently lift the neck, release the hand, roll that shoulder, and bring the right arm behind you. Drop your head over to the left. Gently pull if that feels good, or not, because it just feels good as it is. Feeling that stretch all the way through the shoulder that tends to lock on top here. Gently lift the head, release the hand, and just roll that shoulder out. Let's take a deep breath in together. Inhale, lift the hands up. And out through the mouth, sigh it out. Bring our hands to our heart center. Thank you for practicing with me. Such a pleasure for your company. I bow to you. Namaste. Have a beautiful week. Thanks for joining me.